Most respected Padma Shri Professor Kishan Samdinda, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Institute, and all the distinguished speakers and guests on the dais, and Dr. Himanshu Pandiji, Registrar of the Institute, and all the organizing committee members, Dr. Anurag Tripathi, Dr. Shujita Sharmaji, and Dr. Prashant Moreji, and of course Professor Mangalaji, and all the distinguished faculty members and research faculties and all the staffs and students. First of all, I would like to say that I'm deeply honored to receive this recognition on this very special day, celebrating International Women's Day. I am very privileged to receive this honor and recognition for my contribution in the field of women empowerment. So in this context, yes, I did my PhD in the field of Asian philosophy and gender studies, Asian philosophies in the Buddhist philosophy. So my research, project was gender and sociology debate in Buddhism. So it's something that I did that I think receiving this honor today. And also after my research, I have been continuously doing some work on it, like writing papers and speaking at various occasions wherever I've been given opportunities. So in this context, I'm deeply honored for the university authorities and the organizing members for recognizing my work and honoring me. So thank you so much, and I'm deeply honored. In the context of women empowerment, what I would like to say is, as a practicing Buddhist, and as I did my research on this related theme of gender studies and women in Buddhism, as we all, most of all know that, the status of women, or the view about women in terms of spiritual practice or in societal values has been sort of changing in the ancient Indian history. Just like one of the professors said, when I was doing my research also, I came to know that the status of women was very high during the Vedic time. But somehow, after the Dharma Shastras came, I think it declined to a very low level. But then again, when Buddha came, so as we all know, he had a very different approach. He was there is no distinction of male or women in terms of any, activities, be it spiritual or be it social, be it any kind of, activities in terms of, living day-to-day life, right? So, however, because it was a time when there were, the period when Buddha came was contemporary to the Brahmanical society. So as we all know, although Vedic time it was very high, the status of women, but during the Brahmanical period, as we know, there was some problem, some very discriminative views regarding women. So that was the challenge for Buddha. So when women actually wanted to admission to become ordained, initially we are told, according to the traditional account, that Buddha was reluctant. But this is something debatable, or that because many researchers nowadays feel that we don't know whether Buddha was actually reluctant or not. Maybe he was ready, but because right now what we have, all the traditional accounts are written by male editors, right? So that's been like, that's something not only in Buddhism, it's throughout history, globally, right? So there's some, we don't know, but the traditional belief is that he was slightly reluctant initially, but that was just superficial. At the end, it was, huge proclamation made at that time when, his aunt, Prajapati Gautami, wanted to take ordination. And then initially when he was reluctant, his attendant Ananda, asked him, why are you not allowing them immediately? Is it because they are less capable in terms of spiritual practice? And then the Buddha gave the answer right away, no, that's not the case. Women are as equal as male in terms of spiritual practice. And then in terms of spiritual attainments, those 4 spiritual attainments that we have in traditional classical, early Buddhist teachings about the 4 stages of stream entry, and then once returner, and non-returner, and arhat. So women are as capable as men in attaining all these 4, spiritual attainments. It was a huge thing at that time, because at that time was the period of the Brahmanical period where Indian women were not even, not much permitted to take part in the religious activities and all, let alone practice, right? So at that time it was a huge thing. And so it's been like that. That is, during about 2,500 years ago in India, right? And then similarly, the outlook, we have this about girl child and boy child discriminatory views in the society, right? But 2,500 years ago, Buddha was very clear for the girl child, because there is a very famous incident when it happened that when one of his contemporary king Prasanajit, when his wife Queen Malika gave birth to a girl child, the minister was very worried and came to the king and said, the queen has given birth to a girl, and the king was very worried at that time. And it happens to be that the Buddha was also there, and the Buddha gave a teaching to the king, saying that, why are you worried, Your Majesty? Because women, a girl child born today, can tomorrow be a mother who can, who may herself be even somebody, a highly realized person or a ruler or anything, or if not that, she may, a son that she may bear may become a great ruler, so, and then, likewise, that's why he said some women are even more wiser and more, greater than men. So you should not be worrying about this. So this is said like 2,500 years ago by the Buddha. So it's a huge thing for that time. So his outlook on this, gender equality and then egalitarian view is like well known throughout the world today, right? So it's an honor to celebrate today this, theme of women empowerment today. And then also in India, also as we have been seeing lots of progress and especially during the Republic Day parade, there was a lot of tableau focusing on the theme of Nari Shakti and women empowerment. It was amazing to see that, and that's a trend that it's globally, of course, but then it's very encouraging to see that in this land of Buddha. And then also, in terms of myself, I belong to Tibetan community, and also for me also, like recently, I was asked by a student group, student community on the Tibetan Women Uprising Day, and I was talking about the role of Tibetan women in terms of preserving identity and culture. And at that time also I was mentioning about the role of women, that as a Tibetan, what we should play in the preservation of our identity and culture. And at that time I was also mentioning about, presently in our Central Tibetan administration also, we have only 3 ministers, and all 3 ministers are women. So which is a huge thing it's a very progressive society. And so similarly, it's everywhere as we see this kind of celebration and prioritizing the empowerment of women. It's a amazing thing to see, and I really deeply appreciate to the university for organizing and celebrating this theme from time to time. And once again, I would like to thank the university authorities and the organizing committee members and for giving me this honor and recognition of my field. Thank you so much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।